Designing workshop is not like going to the grocery store and putting random activities in your cart. Yes, you might pick great items, but putting them together won't give you a delicious meal. Workshop designs work the same way. You need a process, you need a framework, you need the right sequence to turn participants from where they are today to where they need to be. And the good news is that this framework exists. It's called the 6C framework. It's used by thousands of facilitators around the globe. And the video you're about to watch is from my online training, the Workshop Design Mastery. And I'm sharing this video here because this is the best explanation I've recorded about the framework. And I want you to have it so that you don't have excuses anymore to not design best-in-class workshops. So let's deep dive into the video. The 6C framework. This is the methodology you're going to follow to design any type of session. It has originally been created by AJ and Smart, who came up with the 4 C's: collect, choose, create, and commit. And then it has been improved by the community. So let's start. The first C is connect. You don't want to deep dive into the workshop content right away. First, you want to have a connection moment with the participant. This connection moment is important for the participant with each other, but also with you, the facilitator, so that you can create a connection with the team that you're going to facilitate. The best way to do that is to use an icebreaker, so a small fun activity that will make people get to know each other better, but also serve the purpose of the workshop. On top of that, it's a really great tool for you, the facilitator, to read the room and to know what type of people you will have to facilitate during the day or the afternoon, depending on what is the workshop length. On top of that, it has been proven scientifically that when you have an icebreaker before a session, the group is going to be way more productive and creative. So it's really interesting for you to integrate them in your session. Also, this step is not mandatory. You can do it or not, it depends on you. Of course, if you don't feel comfortable facilitating icebreakers, don't do it because it's gonna be awkward. It's really like you need to see it like if you sell well the activity, people will want to do it. If you sell it awkwardly, you're gonna give them a chance to skip it or not play the game. One last information, when I'm facilitating icebreakers, I don't actually use the term icebreakers, even though it's the term I used in the cards, because I believe icebreakers have this negative connotation of, oh, it's going to be awkward, it's going to be cringe. I don't want people in my room to think that, so I use the term warm-up, which at the end represents very well what's going to happen when you're facilitating a warm-up. Now, let's move on to the second C, collect. So this is the moment in your workshop where you're going to gather all the important information for the sake of the session. So those could be challenges, data, inspiration, anything you need to be able to achieve the goal of the session. It's a really important step because this is where you create a connection between participants and the topic of the workshop. Most of the time, people skip that step and deep dive right away into the creation moment, the brainstorming. This is a big mistake. When you're having a collect activity, which are more alignment activity, you create a connection between the topic and the content. And this connection will help participants get ready the moment while you will need them to come up with ideas. So never skip a collect activity. Now, let's move on to the third C, choose. This is the moment where you're going to decide what to focus on and what to ignore. You have limited resources and you want to spend those limited resources on the challenges, on the problem that makes more sense, that would bring more value to the team. And at the end, you cannot fight every battle, so you need to choose. And this is a mistake I see a lot in the companies, is that it's so hard for them to make decisions that they have this scope that is huge. And then you have those projects that are super complex and overwhelming for people to work and find a solution to them. So you want to choose on what to focus on and what to ignore. And this is really the moment where you're going to build up the specific scope of the session, which will act as the foundation of your workshop. Even if there is a big choose moment after the collect activities, you will still need to choose almost during the entire session. So you will see a lot of choose activities here and there, and it's totally normal. This is also a bit the limit of this methodology. All right, so the 4C. Create. This is what you already know and what people want to do right away. We want to find ideas, we want to brainstorm. And now that you know exactly what to achieve, what is the problem that you're focusing on, it's time to come up with ideas, with actions, with things to make the workshop goal a success. All right, now we can move on to the 5th C, which is commit. This is a very important step. I see a lot of facilitators finishing the workshop after a creative phase, and this is a big mistake to do. Why? You want to be the facilitator that really helps participants. And if you want to help them, is that when you leave the room, when the workshop is over, you know that solutions are being implemented, that the actions are being taken. And the step commit is there for that. You're only going to ensure that what has been created in the session is going to be implemented. So you want to have activities that will push people to think about next steps, about action plan, about roadmap, activities that give the clarity to what needs to happen when the session is over. The last C, the one that no one forgets, celebrate. This is the moment to finish the workshop on a high note. You want to do it in a fun and engaging way, and you want to remind participants of the experience they went through. Most of the time, participants will move from an activity to another one, but they don't have the perfect view of what they experienced. You as the facilitator, you have it because you designed it and you guided them through each of the steps, but they don't. So it's really important that you remind them of the key takeaway that they were able to come up with based on the main important activities. You also want them to realize that what they've been experiencing is not normal in terms of outcomes. It's quite impressive because you were able to achieve so many different things. In a normal setup without a workshop, those would have taken weeks or months of work. So you want your participant to have this in mind. Now you know the different steps to go through to design best-in-class workshops. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want more facilitation tips, and if you want activities that you can use using the 60 framework, go to theworkshopdev.com or scan the QR code and you will discover activity that has been designed by the best facilitators out there. I'm talking about Disa Corano, Team Lead, Jan Kek, and sometimes myself. So see you soon. Bye-bye.